Jack Turner was born in the industrial heart of Cleveland, Ohio, during a time when factories were shutting down and jobs were disappearing. His family lived in a small, worn-out apartment where the ceiling leaked when it rained, and winters felt colder inside than outside. His father worked 2 shifts, one at a steel mill and another as a night guard. His mother cleaned houses for wealthy families. Jack would often watch her leave early in the morning, tired but determined. He once asked her, "Mom, why do you work so much?" She smiled and said, "Because one day, Jack, I want you to have a life better than mine." Jack carried those words in his heart. But life wasn't easy. In school, he struggled with grades. Teachers told him he was slow, and kids mocked him, calling him the failure. Deep inside, Jack felt broken, but he also had a spark, an unshakable belief that he was meant for something greater. Jack didn't have video games or expensive toys. What he did have was a library card. Every weekend, while other kids played outside, Jack sat in the public library reading about inventors, entrepreneurs, and leaders. He admired people like Henry Ford, Steve Jobs, and Thomas Edison. Their failures didn't scare him, in fact, they inspired him. He read how Edison failed 1,000 times before creating the light bulb. Jack thought, if they could fail that much and still succeed, why can't I? At night, after finishing his part-time job delivering newspapers, Jack would sit by his window, staring at the city lights. He dreamed of owning a company one day, a company that would create jobs, bring hope, and prove that even someone from nothing could rise to something. After high school, Jack decided not to go to college because his family couldn't afford it. Instead, he borrowed $2,000 from his uncle to start a small business. His idea was simple: a neighborhood delivery service using bicycles. At first, he was excited. He printed flyers, told his friends, and even managed to get a few customers. But soon, reality hit. Competitors had more money, better resources, and faster delivery vans. Within 6 months, Jack's business collapsed. He lost the borrowed money and his confidence. People around him laughed. One neighbor said, "See? I told you. Kids like you don't make it in business." For weeks, Jack felt crushed. He stayed in his room, ashamed and afraid to face the world. But one evening, his father sat next to him and said something that would change his life forever. "Son, in America, you only fail when you stop trying. Falling down is not failure. Staying down is." With those words, Jack found new strength. He started working nights at a gas station, saving every dollar he could. Instead of wasting money, he invested in knowledge, buying books on business, attending free seminars, and watching successful entrepreneurs online. Slowly, a new idea formed in his mind. Cleveland had many abandoned garages and empty lots. What if he started a low-cost car repair service for people who couldn't afford expensive workshops, using his savings and some borrowed tools? Jack opened his tiny repair shop in an old garage. It wasn't glamorous: paint was peeling, the roof leaked, and the sign outside was hand-painted. But Jack had something bigger than a fancy shop. He had dedication. The first year was brutal. Jack worked 16-hour days, sometimes eating only bread and coffee to save money. His friends went to parties, traveled, and lived freely, but Jack stayed behind, covered in grease, fixing cars. There were days when customers didn't come at all. He felt like giving up. But every time doubt entered his heart, he remembered his mother's tired smile and his father's words. Slowly, things began to change. One satisfied customer told another, and soon more people started visiting his garage. Jack became known as the honest mechanic. He didn't cheat people and he charged fairly in a world full of scams. His honesty became his greatest strength. Within 3 years, Jack's small garage turned into 3 garages. He hired employees from his own neighborhood, people who were unemployed and struggling just like he once was. By year 5, Jack registered his company as Turner Auto Solutions. He expanded into offering affordable car parts. emergency roadside assistance, and even partnered with local schools to train young mechanics. News spread, local newspapers wrote about him. From failure to fortune, the mechanic who changed Cleveland. Jack's real breakthrough came when a major car company offered him a contract to provide affordable servicing for their vehicles in the region. Overnight his business grew 10 times bigger. He opened new branches, employed hundreds of workers, and gave back to the community by funding scholarships for underprivileged kids. Jack Turner, the boy once called a failure, was now a successful entrepreneur, respected leader, and a symbol of hope. One evening while giving a motivational talk at a university, a student asked Jack, "Sir, what's the secret of your success?" Jack smiled and replied, "There is no secret. Success is built on 3 things: failure, faith, and fight. You must fail because failure teaches you. You must have faith because without belief you will quit. And you must fight because the world doesn't give you anything, you earn it." The audience gave him a standing ovation. Jack looked around the hall and thought of his mother, his father, and that tiny garage where it all started. He realized something important: success is not about money or fame, it's about never giving up.